Hey, everybody, welcome to Camp Slash Horrorcast. It'd be nice if I put up people's faces, wouldn't it? Jeez. Come on, Doc, with your technical crap. There we are. All right. Hey, everybody, welcome to Camp Slash Horrorcast, where we talk horror movies from the past every Monday at 8 p.m. Central Time live on Twitch. This is Duck, your head camp counselor. Small crew today. We got other head camp counselors, though. We got David. Honey, you got real ugly. Jessup. David, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good, kids.
Excellent, excellent. And we got Jay. This is my boomstick, McClintock. Jay, how are you, sir?
I am well, man. I just had a really great weekend at the club. I'm feeling refreshed, ready for this week. Ready to go to my first big public thing this weekend.
What are you doing?
I'm going
Recording in progress.
Sorry.
I'm going to wrestling.
Hell yeah.
What wrestling?
WWE is coming to town.
Woo!
They're going to be here Sunday and Monday, but I'm going Sunday with Eric B.
Nice.
We're going to Money in the Bank. We're going to check out that new arena in Fort Worth called Dickey's Arena.
Oh yeah.
Freaking A.
Nice, man.
Again? What day is it?
Sunday.
Sunday. That's freaking awesome, dude. And what time is that?
It's like, I think it's like 6 or 7. The comedian we have this week, Dan Soder, he's appeared on Vice's Dark Side of the Ring. If y'all haven't watched that show,
it's great, man. It's really good.
Even if it's actually, it almost feels like it was made for non-wrestling fans.
Right.
Yep. Totally.
And that's just amazing work when it's like, we'll bring people in, and I think it's also creating new fans as well, because it's just so well written. And I think he's a big wrestling fan, so he might actually go too, which would be cool.
Yeah, the one on the Montreal screw job, man, that is a hell of a fucking episode. That is some crazy stuff.
I don't want to say which one's my favorite because they're all super tragic, but I think one of the ones I found the most interesting was the one called Collision in Korea, where a handful of WCW wrestlers didn't have to, but they wrestled in North Korea.
Oh shit!
In the mid '90s, it's the way they talk about it. This is mid '90s. The head of WCW first went up to Hulk Hogan, was like, "Hey, you think you can help us out and go to North Korea?" And he's like, "I can't do it, brother."
Sorry, brother.
So their second choice was Ric Flair, and Ric Flair, even though he wasn't too happy about being asked second, he went there and he basically saved a good chunk of the event.
Nice.
And attendance, it's the largest attended sporting event ever. I think it had something like 100, maybe 200,000 people.
Wow.
But it was also mandatory.
Yeah.
So I mean, you get the W, but it's got a little asterisk on it.
Yeah, dude, you're gonna have a blast at that though, and because you're a fan, you know what I mean. That's number one, but number two, they just put on a good show. They always have ever since I started watching wrestling. When I watched wrestling back in the '90s, Attitude Era.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's where it was at. But let's talk some Evil Dead. Okay, let's get to our movie tonight. It's gonna be Army of Darkness, also known as Bruce Campbell versus the Army of Darkness. Not sure why it's called that. Released February 19th, 1993, with a running time of 81 minutes. It was cut down. They cut about 15 minutes from the original cut. Budget $11 million with a box office of $21.5 million. Synopsis: Ash is transported back to medieval days where he is captured by the dreaded Lord Arthur, aided by the deadly chainsaw, and has become his only friend. Ash is sent on a perilous mission to recover the Book of the Dead, a powerful tomb that gives its owner the power to summon any army of ghouls. So, Army of Darkness, the third of the Evil Dead movies, as we watch all the movies in order. This is so drastically different than the other movies, so let's talk our history with it real quick. Jessup, when was the first time you saw this movie?
I was a huge fan of the first two, so I saw this movie when it came out opening night, me and my two stoner buddies. And I did not like it, and I still don't like it. And I know that's not a popular opinion, but I like you said, it's completely different in tone. I appreciate it, but yeah, I was not a fan then, and I'm not a fan now.
All right, on. How about you, Jay? When was the first time you saw it? What's your history?
Saw it when I was in 6th grade. I had glimpsed over Evil Dead 2 earlier in my life. Didn't have too much history with that one. Didn't even know this was part of that same lore. But I'll tell you what, this movie actually was marketed pretty well. It had a lot of trailers, and I went there with my granny, and when we went to the box office window, the box office lady tells her, she's like, I just want to warn you, you may not be ready for this because it's pretty gory. And by the time the movie let out, my granny looks at me and she goes, I think she was talking about me because I mean I'll be the counterpoint. I absolutely love this. I kind of I know Evil Dead 2 is a lot of people's darling, and man, I will also tell you that Evil Dead 2 is my favorite, but I think Army of Darkness is just everything that Sam Raimi wanted the Evil Dead to ultimately be, and I think he accomplished it pretty well.
Yeah,
He got to make, and we can get into it, but yeah, that's my history.
yeah. Well, my history is I watched these in order. I was pre-warned about the differences in the movies beforehand, and this one is so drastically different, but not really. It's kind of in tune with the second one at the same time. And there's that progression. You go from horror comedy to action comedy. And so I don't even know if I consider this a horror movie in a lot of ways. It's got scary elements, but at the same time, this is more this is more like something you watch when you're a kid that's enjoyable. It's in the same line as kind of almost like the Monster Squad or Gremlins or something like that. It feels like a PG-13. Why it's an R, I have no idea. I guess there is the blood geyser at the one point. But watched this at Clarion County College with my friend. We were super stoned. It was probably 3 a.m. in the morning, and we were laughing our asses off because we were just high as shit. And we at the end we would just point out what a puppet was and a person in a costume. We were like puppet, costume, puppet, costume, and we just had so much fun playing that game. And that we just switched back and forth. And my memory of this movie was it was 3 hours long, but I was really high because this is a fast 120. You know what I mean? Like this is not 3 hours long, but a fun movie nonetheless. Is it as good as the first two? No, this is not. This is it's fun in its own right, but it also this creates so much more the character of Ash Williams that everyone knows and loves. This is where he really comes into his own and becomes the person who's shouting, the catchphrases, this is my boomstick, hail to the king, baby, you got real ugly, hey, she bitch, which is my favorite. But I just absolutely love the character that he becomes, and he's just so over the top and crazy, and he's such a misfit. So, yeah.
Would y'all agree that the Ash Williams character that most people love is pretty much a genesis from this movie?
Yes.
Oh yeah. What Ash is known as today is from this movie for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When you go to Ash versus Evil Dead, that version of the character is this Ash, only aged up. You know what I mean? And all the games and the comic books and everything that he became is the king that he is in this movie. He is this over-the-top character who is totally bumbling idiot, but at the same time, making it work. So let's get into the movie. It begins with a recap of the Evil Dead 2. They kind of changed the chainsawing the handoff sequence. They make it less bloody, more funny, whatever he's coming down on it. But they use quite a bit of footage from the second movie. And we talked about this before. Does the first movie, the second movie, and the third movie exist in the same universe? It rewrites it every time it starts, so it's not a big deal. But this one really begins with a bang, recreating what happens at the end of the second movie where they say hail to the king. Well, we don't get that. He's captured instead. And we get the march of him and Arthur the Red, I think it is.
Henry the Red.
Thank you. Henry the Red.
Yeah, he doesn't kill the monster with the shotgun.
No, like I said, these movies always rewrite. So
and I think that was a smart choice because they had to give him that. They build him up again, guys. I'll go back to wrestling, but they had to build him as this underdog, and he goes in, to a fight he's not supposed to win, which is ultimately what I think everyone loves about Ash is that he's really not supposed to win any of this, but he finds a way.
the problem I have from it is I get what you're saying there, but we see if you've seen Evil Dead 2, you know how it ends. And so I think as a fan of Evil Dead 2 to come into Evil Dead 3 and they completely rewrite how the end of Evil Dead is, that I think is what set me off right from the beginning to not like this movie. Because I'm like, hey, assholes, I've watched Evil Dead 2 4,000 times. Why isn't he? And you're continuing it. You know, it goes right up to the end of Evil Dead 2. This one starts, and you're completely erasing what we just saw. And so, what's that called? Not retech. What do they do when they completely change a movie or like a storyline? What's it called when they go back and change it? There's a word for it.
Oh, I don't know. I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the word either. Rewriting, not rewriting though. But,
Yeah, there's some yeah, maybe it's redacting, but it's like when like I'll give you a perfect example is retcon. That's what it is, retcon.
Okay.
Yeah. What was it? The X-Men movies where they basically retconned X-Men 3.
Yeah.
Where they were like, X-Men 3 didn't exist. Carry on.
Yeah.
Is there a reason that do you forgive the second movie for doing it? Is the second one your favorite?
I think no. The first one's my favorite.
First
one's my okay. First one's I forgive it in the sense, Jay, is because the first one to me is like a college film, and the second one to me is like a actual studio film, and so I could forgive him for that type of thing. That's how I'm going to justify it in my head.
For me,
just
it's
plain devil's advocate.
Yeah, for me, it's always just like I said. These movies can be interconnected in the same way, like you said, they retcon or they abbreviate the ending, just as the second movie abbreviates a big portion of the original film. I just view it as a continuation. And somebody said before there are actual fan cuts of it where they cut each of the movies together, chopping off the ending or the beginning of it, and it still works. So at the end of the first movie, whenever the creature or the thing comes through the cabin and hits Ash, you get that same thing at the beginning of the second movie. So just, it's just a nice little recap. It's just a little reimagining of it.
Well, also the second movie was just a remake of the first movie. So I don't even view the first and two ones as sequels, really.
See, I view the second movie as a continuation of the first movie in a lot of ways. And I view this one as a continuation of the second movie's canon. That's the way I feel. I feel this one follows the second movie more than the first. So they're all completely different. Go ahead, Jay.
I think with most of your quote unquote fans, the Evil Dead 2 and it is where like basically the story really begins. Right. And I think that, I think Evil Dead by itself, I consider it a standalone. Yeah. Definitely a standalone. The second one and the third one and I do think it's, kind of funny because I saw Army of Darkness before I saw Evil Dead 2 in its entirety, and so it was kind of cool to me that when I finally saw Evil Dead 2 and then I saw how they messed up the ending, I was like, oh man, he's a badass. Oh man, they love him. It's like, that's not what I saw. Yeah. But I mean, and I think that's also probably a big reason why I wasn't as upset. Dave, you're quite a bit older, so
I think that's a big, huge thing too, man. I really do, being that big age difference.
And I really feel like, I think you might agree. I think Army of Darkness was kind of maybe more written for a teenage audience, I think.
Yeah.
Because I think also a lot of people would tell you that their introduction into Evil Dead was Army of Darkness.
Well, what's weird too, Jay, is that it feels like it's not only a movie for teenagers, like kids between 10 and 13 years old. It also feels like a movie that's made for teenagers from the 1940s. It's very slapstick. It's very what's the word I'm looking for? Three Stooges.
Oh, absolutely. He's always been hugely. And then also and I'm sure you have to appreciate the nods to Ray Harryhausen.
Oh yeah,
throughout the movie as well. I mean, it's so practical.
Yeah.
Yep. I love that the stop motion was awesome.
Yeah, a lot of the techniques. This film uses almost every single filmmaking technique available in 1991. Whenever this came out, 1991, is that right? Yeah.
94.
Now you're both wrong. Its technical release was in 92.
92. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So it used every single technique at the time, and that's what makes it kind of a little bit. It kind of sticks out, like a lot of the rear projection stuff that they do. kind of sticks out like a sore thumb on HD. But if you watch like the grainy version of it, looks amazing. Because I was watching some making ofs, and they have grainier footage, and it's just like it works. You know what I mean? You need film grain sometimes. You don't need the 4K Ultra HD. It kind of ruins the experience a little bit for some of this stuff. But the stop motion animation, the puppetry, the humor, that's the thing that really comes down to. Do you want your Evil Dead scary or do you want it humorous? And the Medieval Dead, which is what they originally wanted to call it.
Medieval Dead.
Yeah, I love that name, and it would have been great if they called it that. But it really comes down to, do you like the humor and the funness of it? And this was made for a general audience. They wanted a PG-13. They fought for a PG-13. They re-edited this bad boy for PG-13, and they still kept getting an R over and over and over again.
I think it's only for, I think the two things that maybe, I think it's the blood.
It's the geyser. It's the blood geyser. It's got to be.
That's so cool looking, man.
Yeah, it's fun. And how do you get rid of that? You can't get rid of that. That makes it so much fun. That pays homage to the second movie, you know, in so many ways. And then also, he does say fuck at one point, but it's like one time, you know, and you can get one fuck in a PG-13. But anyhow, the movie begins. We get Ash. I like what Jay said. You know, you break him back down. You put him at square one, and he's being captured. And then you get the pit scene where he falls in, and you actually see him fight the Deadite. Not one Deadite, but two Deadites. I thought that was pretty cool. We keep talking about the blood geyser. You get the guy who falls in there, and you just see it erupt, and it go everywhere, and everyone cheers, you know. And then you get him knocked into it on accident. A lot of slapstick humor going through this. And then you get the first fight. And I love the way that the priest comes up and says, you know, stranger, or weird one, or whatever he says. And he drops the chainsaw on, and you get that anime moment where he jumps up and he clicks his hand into the chainsaw, falls down. That's just pure Ash Williams.
That's fucking metal, babe.
It is. It's like, I love it. So you get Ash Williams, you get him going after the Deadites, and then when he comes out and he gets his shotgun, and my favorite shot from the movie is whenever he holds it up and he goes, "This is my boomstick," and the camera shakes. You know what I mean? I think that is one of the most epic shots. And Sam Raimi's still doing new stuff in this movie. He's aping a lot of the classic, like you said, Harryhausen and army films, or not army films, but medieval films from back in the day and stuff like that. But he's still doing his new shots. The only complaint I have is the shaky cam in this movie does get a little bit out of control. It's a lot, especially whenever he's fighting the Deadites. It is a lot. So then we get Ash. He becomes the king, I guess. What is that? What it is, or they just call him like the prophesized one, or what is it? I can't remember.
He's the promised one.
The promised one. That's what it is. So we get Ash, and they decide that he's going to go after the Book of the Dead. And so he goes on his journey. Now, he's a bumbling idiot, so of course this isn't going to happen. Now, was he really the prophesized one? I guess he was, right?
Yeah, he's in the book in the second one. You see a picture of him in the book.
So we get Ash going after the Book of the Dead, which begins a series of scenes that are very slapstick. And that's my favorite portion of the movie, is the middle portion where he has to actually go up to the books, and it just becomes a comedy of errors. Because obviously he's a fool, and he should be defeated at every fucking corner that he hits. But he, for whatever reason, has a rabbit's foot up his ass, and he just keeps getting lucky and getting out of these different trials and errors. So whenever he falls into the book, you know, he gets sucked into the first book. The second book, he doesn't go up to it. It's booby-trapped. It bites him. You know, he fights it. And then the third book, being the idiot that he is, he can't say Klaatu Vata, what is it? Klaatu Vatara Nikto, right?
Klaatu Varata
Nikto. Yeah. And he forgets it, and he tries to fake it. Nikto! And so it's just one of those things that cracks me up, that he's just such a fool. I just love the character. Then we get the skeleton arms coming out and fighting him. For you guys, does this middle part work? Is that something that you enjoy, or was this where Jessup, where it kind of fell off the rails and you're like, I'm done?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the little ashes, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
the little ashes I enjoyed. The only thing I really, really like about this movie is the very end when he's back at S-Mart and he has that badass battle with the Deadite. I really like that a lot. But I was never a fan of the medieval what do you call it, background. I just never got into it. And yeah, man, I mean, I really enjoy the camera work. I thought the camera work to this day is freaking genius. But yeah, man, the slapstick comedy, the wackiness of it, all the wackiness really got to me. Like I got tired of it really quick. But I did love that last scene because that to me is what is Evil Dead at its best. When it's with the combination of Ash being, one-liners and then this hardcore horror, Deadite demon crazy shit. I'll swallow your soul, shit like that. So
And
yeah.
that ending is actually an alternative ending. Initially, they didn't have that ending. They had an ending where Ash went into the Cadillac or whatever the car is, and he took some potion.
It's the Oldsmobile, Delta 88. It's a very famous car. Sam Raimi uses it in pretty much all of his movies. You'll see it. It was in every single Spider-Man movie. He finds a way to put it. It was in, I believe, it was in Crime Wave. I believe it was definitely in, I think, one of the Maniac Cops. So it's a lot of people say that he likes that car more than he likes Bruce Campbell.
Oh, it's also in what was it called? A Simple Plan?
Yep, absolutely. Was in A Simple Plan, which is a very underrated movie.
Oh, it's a great movie. I think to me that's his best movie. I absolutely love that movie.
For me, I would say my favorite Sam Raimi movie was For the Love of the Game.
I've never seen that.
Great take on baseball. One of Kevin Costner's best movies too. But yeah, I know we're getting off topic. But Duck, to answer your question, the middle part, like I said, man, I saw this movie. I got to see this movie as a blank slate. I had no idea that there was anything that came before this movie. I felt like he was, narrating it like you weren't supposed to see what had happened before. And I guess, according to what actually happened in Evil Dead 2, you really didn't need to. But yeah, the middle part was cool. I like the fact that his ultimate bad guy is himself.
Yes.
Which I think also plays on that trope from Evil Dead 2. I thought that was actually a nice, after my third or fourth watching of both these movies, I always thought that was like a little wink and a nudge to the second movie, saying like, hey, we didn't forget about that part. Mm-hmm. We're gonna expand on that, because I think a lot of fans actually mention that in hindsight. We all watch movies and we think of how we would like them done a little different. We can pretty much dissect any movie that we watch that way. And I think a lot of fans said, hey, that part in Evil Dead 2 where he's dealing with his hand, and also his reflection, and like they're talking to each other, they were like, I really like that. I wish I could have seen more. And I think maybe some of that stuck with old Raimi, and he was like, we'll definitely expand on that. And then you also get, which I consider my favorite line in the whole movie is good, bad. I'm the guy with the gun.
Yeah.
Which is just so fun.
Yeah. And I like the transformation too. I like the Lilliputian ashes and how they Gulliver's travel him. They tie him down, and how they hold open his mouth, and the mini one jumps in, and it becomes the seed that grows into the evil ash. And seeing the eyeball, the practical effect of it, like twirling around.
Oh, that was so cool, dude!
Yeah.
The practical effect of the eyeball on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm ordering a book. It's a fake book off of Spirit Halloween that has an eyeball in the middle that moves around. That reminds me of that.
Yeah, there's something about that, like the idea of like the evil growing from within, and like the double-headed comedy that comes with that, because there's so much, like you said, Three Stooges style comedy in it, slapstick wise. But I love Evil Ash because he's like, you're good, Ash. I'm evil, Ash. I just love that shit. And I love, like you said, Jay, he becomes his own villain because Bruce Campbell gets to play the bad guy then. So you get this over-the-top bad guy, the same as your hero is over the top too. And it just makes for a great dichotomy when it comes to the end of the movie. So that's about the middle part of the movie. The third part of the movie for me kind of slows down when it comes to the battle scene. And I don't know why. Maybe because by the time I saw this movie, I saw some more epic films like Gladiator does, action scenes way better than this. But I appreciate what it is for the time. You know what I mean? And seeing the puppetry just cracks me up. And like I said, the first time I saw it, I thought this thing was 3 hours long. I thought it was just endless puppets and horses and more puppets. But now watching it, I enjoy all the little comedy that goes on between the characters and like, whenever the skeleton's crawling towards him, he's like, I'm gonna cut out your gizzards and stuff like that. Just the little talk cracks me up, and that's what it's meant to do. It's just fun. It's just stupid fun. I don't know how else to say it, but the battle scene, there's nothing special about it other than it's the Army of the Dead. I didn't know this, that whenever they come through and it has the bone flute and the skull drums, Danny Elfman actually composed that.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So
you didn't know that?
Yeah, I did not.
I didn't know that. Mm-mm.
Yeah, he scores a lot of the movie. I thought he did most of the soundtrack, if not all of it.
Well, what's weird is I heard it and I thought Danny Elfman, and then I went and checked, and it was a different composer. It was the guy who worked on the first two movies. And then I was reading the trivia earlier today, and it said that he was the one who composed that part of it. So I was like, okay, that makes perfect sense. I also like Evil Ash. I like he's
the outfit, the makeup that was really cool.
The way the faces has the underbite and stuff like that is pretty fun. And then the final skeletal form of Evil Ash, where he comes up and his eye, Ash punches him and his eyes roll in the back of his head. And whenever he goes, before he gets exploded, he kind of does that cartoonish. Literally, it's like a Looney Tunes cartoon. His head, flops up, and it does like the cannon kaboom kind of thing. Like I enjoy it, but like the end of the movie kind of falls apart for me at the same time. How about you, Jay? What do you think?
Oh, like I said, man, you're not gonna get me to say like anything negative. I mean, it's just really there's nothing for me to hate on this movie, just from it, because again, it was just so fresh to me. And again, like the last part, what he does with the car in medieval times, I thought that was really badass. The girl. Let's talk about the girl. He gets a love interest that actually sticks around for this movie.
Yeah,
and she doesn't actually get killed. She just gets turned.
I
thought that was
her
really
getting
unique
killed,
choice.
and that's what's crazy is whenever I watched it this time, I was like, oh, I thought she died. So she's there for the whole time, and like he does the line, first you want to punch me, now you want to kiss me,
First you want to kill me, now you want to kiss me, blow.
Yeah,
I'm gonna correct you every time. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
I'm just messing with you.
It's one of those things where I absolutely, with her, I felt like she was kind of a non-character. But he has 3 different love interests in this movie. He has Linda at the beginning, played by what's her name? Shit.
Well,
Bridget Fonda.
Bridget Fonda, man.
Yeah, and Bridget Fonda. You know who Bridget Fonda's married to?
Danny Elfman.
Who?
Danny Elfman.
Yeah.
Dude, whatever happened to her? Because she was like the it actress in the '90s for a while.
Well,
beautiful.
As someone who shares a birthday with Bridget Fonda, I can tell you a few things about her. She did do quite a few movies in the 90s. I remember Single White Female.
Yep.
And she also did that La Femme Nikita American version.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people said is the definitive version.
I of course am a movie snob, so I bow down to the original French version, but that American version, no problem with it at all.
Yeah, they said it did a lot of justice. And she just got that really strong. And then I remember her in Doc Hollywood, huge fan of her in that. And then she did a
Jackie Brown, bro.
Jackie Brown, she's
amazing,
phenomenal in that. I think her last movie was a movie called Kiss of the Dragon in 2002 with Jet Li. After that, she just wanted to go be a mom apparently, and so
good for her, man.
She's Hollywood royalty anyway. The Fondas, and Taff, Danny's doing more than enough to pay the bills for the rest of their lives. But even at that, I think she had her time in Hollywood and she was ready to go.
An interesting side story about her. I don't know if you've ever saw the anime version or the CGI version of Final Fantasy that came out, I think, in like 2000, 2001.
Yeah, Spirits Within.
Yeah, Spirits Within. The lead actress was modeled after her.
Okay, there were talks about, after that movie came out, people of course get big eyes and big ideas. They really thought that they were gonna be able to fool people into putting characters that look like that into real movies, and to tell. But it was like, I don't know.
It's what do you call it? Uncanny Valley. You can always tell.
Uncanny Valley. Yep, absolutely. But yeah, this is what I like about the third act. Okay, first of all, you get my second favorite line in the movie when he's like, telling him run home to mama, and then Arthur, which is funny because did you kind of catch that this was a take on the Arthurian legend?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So it's funny the way they, he goes, all men from the future, loudmouth dragons, just me, baby, just me. And then like and then he's like, well, how are we gonna fight him? He's like, we're gonna get King Henry the Red and his men to fight with us. I was like, now that's a callback. What a fun callback to get that in there. And then the fight itself. I mean, that from a practical standpoint, they used a lot of green screen, I know, but that's a lot of work to put that many creatures together.
Right.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a visual, at the very least, I thought that was a visual, achievement.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I enjoy it better than the big giant battle at the end of the Game of Thrones season.
Yeah.
I thought it was better than that trash.
Yeah.
Hey,
It,
no argument here.
I mean, honestly, like I said, the first time I watched it, it just felt like so long. This time, I was like, okay, this isn't that bad. But I do enjoy everything with Evil Ash. And speaking of Game of Thrones, I almost thought the castle looked the exact same as one of the castles in Game of Thrones. So I was like, did they use the same one? What's going on? But it's all medieval stuff. Then, yeah, the ending of the movie with the Shop Smart, Shop S Smart, that was tacked on. They went back and they had to refilm the ending. The studio didn't like the initial ending, so they added that. But it kind of sets up.
What was the initial ending?
Like I said, he takes a potion and he wakes up. How many years? Like 1,000 years after he was supposed to.
David, have you not seen the original cut?
No.
Okay, so in 1997, I became pretty obsessed with like wanting an Evil Dead 4, like, and as the internets will preclude to, and they had basically the way it came down to was Bruce Campbell said, "I'm not doing any more Evil Deads. Get over it. It's not going to happen." And then somebody at a comic book convention or something to that extent, some fan convention of some kind, goes, "Yeah, hey, I saw the ending where you drank too much of the potion. You wound up in post-apocalyptic London." And he literally stood up, aghast, and was like, how in the hell did you even get to see that footage? He's like, "I haven't seen that footage."
Wow.
He's like, "How did you see that? That should not have happened." He was like impressed. And also maybe a little bit jealous that this person actually got to see it. So basically, it's a really stupid choice, and I'm glad they changed it. But the wise man, after he gets a little last leaven from the girl, I can't remember her name. It kills me. I know her real name, but he's like, take a drop, and every drop you take is a century.
Oh, okay.
And he's supposed to take like 6 drops.
6.
And on the 6th drop, the cave he's in like shakes a little bit, and then he forgets.
You know what?
One more.
This is on the internet, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, you can find it.
I remember seeing this now. Anyway, and it's kind of like a, what do you call it? A Planet of the Apes type of ending.
Yes, 100%. It's Planet of the Apes, and he wakes up in a post-apocalyptic future. Well, it looks like just a devastated, uninhabited future.
No.
It basically does that. Now, to my understanding, spoilers, doesn't Ash versus the Evil Dead kind of end in a similar way on the 3rd season?
No, I'll talk about it if you guys want to talk about it. But
yeah,
no,
go ahead.
That's not what happens.
Yes, talk about it.
Yeah.
Have you've all seen it, or
I haven't seen it, and I probably won't.
Okay, so I've talked to Ethan about this quite a bit, and Ash versus Evil Dead. Honestly, it gave me closure, and it allowed me to not necessarily turn my back on this franchise, because I've always be a big fan, but it was the ending that I actually wanted. So in Ash versus the Evil Dead, you get the best, in my opinion, ending, in that he fights a giant deadeye.
Oh, nice.
We're talking like a kaiju sized deadeye. This thing's
Nice.
got to be like 100 feet tall or something to that extent. and it's just the embodiment of all the evil. And another thing that the Evil Dead does, the Ash vs. Evil Dead show does, that I always wanted him to do, and I was really excited. They actually showed what the evil looks like when it's
That's
coming
always
after.
chasing.
It's
Very
always
cool.
chasing, and for once
Yeah.
you see it in like a rear view or something. You see it as a big cloud coming at you, very like Lost-ish, but I don't
Yeah.
care. I forgive it. But yeah, he destroys this this big deadite, and then he does kind of wind up in a little bit in the future, but as opposed to the ending of this movie, when he wakes up in the future, he has like this like almost cyborg assistant who has given him a brand new hand that is basically a full. It's like a Luke Skywalker hand.
Okay.
It's definitely an upgrade to the gauntlet that he gets in this one.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Are you ready?" And he basically gets into his car, and they drive off, ready to do whatever they need to do. And it was like, that's the
All
like,
right.
to me, I was like, what? He's got nothing left to do.
Well, that's initially for Evil Dead 4 if they were going to make it. That's why they did the post-apocalyptic ending, because he was supposed to fight the Deadites alongside robotic helpers from the future. So
Yeah.
the series actually ended up where they wanted it to be at the end of the third movie, heading into a fourth movie. And there has been talk of a fourth movie with Ash Williams for a long time, continuing it, but we probably won't get that, seeing as we're getting Evil Dead Rising, which is some kind of weird retcon remake. No one really knows what's coming our way.
More of the same, right?
We know that it's set in the same universe, though, as the Ash Williams Evil Dead. That's the
Is
one thing we
Raimi
know.
directing it again?
I believe he is directing it. He did not direct the remake, but I think he is directing this one. I believe.
Isn't this like a HBO Max type of thing?
It is. It's like an HBO. Yeah. I think that's what it's coming out on. So, I mean, I'll watch it. I'm down. I hope they go back to the original Deadites from the original movie. And Ash versus the Evil Dead did a little bit of that. They did a little bit of everything, but I can't. I'm gonna start watching that series because I've only watched the first season of it. I haven't seen the second or the third season of it.
Is it on Netflix?
Ash versus Evil Dead? I don't think it is. I think
No,
I think it's on.
Hulu maybe.
I think it's on the torrents that I downloaded of it.
Oh,
but so
Definitely
yeah,
on Stars. If you have Stars Play, you can get
Yeah.
Stars Play for pretty cheap too.
I was super excited when that series came out. I enjoyed the hell out of the first season. I just never caught up after that, and you know, it's legit scary in some ways. That first episode that he directed, when they go to the house, the FBI agent goes to the house. That's some scary shit. That is legit creepy. And so,
I think, yeah, the TV series definitely. Dave, have you not seen any of the series?
I haven't. Mm-mm.
Oh, Dave, let me
It was,
assure you.
was it on Showtime or something?
It was on
Stars.
Stars. Dave,
Stars. That's why.
Dave, let me assure you, you'll get this promise from me that the TV series definitely doesn't retcon Army of Darkness, but it definitely throws out a lot of the stuff that
The
you don't like.
wackiness. Yeah.
It's wacky, but it's wacky. Imagine, but with the effects of the original movies.
Okay.
You
cool.
are going to see CGI. You're not going to
Yeah.
avoid it, but the creatures are very much more in line. It's a darker. It's definitely darker.
yeah,
Lee Majors plays his dad.
Oh, the
plays-
fuck yeah.
He plays Dad Williams. They go on a lot more adventure. It's almost like a Scooby Doo type thing.
yeah.
That's
He's got-
crazy.
He's got like a Scooby gang of people with him, but it's also, yeah, it's very violent and fun. You'd really enjoy it.
It's
Awesome, man.
It's really different. I would say it's in line with whenever he goes crazy in Evil Dead 2 and the room kind of comes alive. That's the wackiness we're talking about. Like, it's just got some wild out there stuff, and it's really fun to watch. And they're short episodes. They're like half-hour episodes. So, but anyhow, the reason it ignores Army of Darkness, actually, Ash versus Evil Dead, is because they couldn't get the rights to Army of Darkness in any way, shape, or form. So, from my
Interesting.
understanding, they don't mention it at all in the series. But it is that version of Ash Williams, the Army of Darkness version, which is penultimate Ash Williams. It's the one that we all love. It's the version that, like I said, you get in the video games, you get in the comics, you get in our minds. Because it's great to see through the movies, and we got to watch that and talk about it, the progression of the character, how he went from being just this normal guy in this fucked up situation in a cabin where he had to kill his friends, or, you know, he had his friend chop up his girlfriend and things like that, and how he reacts to it, to this hail to the king, baby. this over-the-top narcissistic fool that is just so much fun to watch. And Bruce Campbell, all credit to him, he produced all these movies. He is just as involved as an actor as he was in the writing, the production, the creation, finding the money for it, and all those things. He was part of the crew. So
That's awesome.
I just think I give kudos to the whole crew, and I think that they all rock it. Is there anything else you guys want to say about Army of Darkness? No?
In his book, Confessions of a B-movie actor, If Chins Could Kill, he actually talks about how he got paid for this movie. And it was his biggest paycheck up to date. He got paid $500,000 for Army of Darkness, but because of the fact he basically broke it down, and when it all came down to it, he basically made about $50,000 a year to be in this movie.
Oh my God!
It took 2 years to make, and when you break down like agents and all this stuff, and I think he was going through a divorce too at this time, so it was like, yeah, definitely wasn't the windfall. Yeah.
But he's had a hell of a career afterwards, and he's always a cult icon. He's made movies. My Name is Bruce. Bubba Hotep, Burn Notice, 7 seasons of that. Like, he killed it through that. He was in Xena. The dude's been a working actor, and he's one of the most beloved character actors of all time. And it came from just a bunch of kids making a movie in the woods. You know what I mean? And
I love it.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all for a career. So give it up to Bruce Campbell. With that said, I think Army of Darkness is the weakest link. So would I recommend it?
Agreed.
100% recommend this movie. It's fun, but it is definitely the weakest link in the Evil Dead trilogy. So,
but in a lot of ways, I'll agree it's the weakest. But I think in a lot of ways, it's also maybe the most important movie of the 3, because I think Army of Darkness is the reason we have the video games. It's the reason we have Ash versus Evil Dead. I think it's the reason why this series actually stopped being cult and actually became part of it. Became a global brand.
Yeah,
because it wouldn't take much editing to put this on TBS on a Thursday, and a lot of kids probably caught it that way. They probably caught it on the cable version of it, and it's, like I said, it's more kid friendly. Like, I would show this to a teenager. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I'd show the first 2 movies to somebody who's like 10 or 11, but I'd be like, Army of Darkness isn't half bad. It's no worse than Hercules or Xena, like I said before. It's just like
it's rated. All 3 of these movies are some of the highest ratings on Rotten Tomatoes, I think.
Oh, a huge fan base, man. People love it.
No, I mean, even critically. Critically. Like, let me take a look. What's Army of Darkness looking like on Army? Not that it, Rotten Tomatoes is the
no. I support Rotten Tomatoes, and I trust it, especially when it has critics and audiences both agreeing on it. It's usually a good movie.
It's only at 73%. The other 2 were definitely in the 90s, but it's got an 87% audience score. So
yeah, anything above 70 is good. Anything above 70.
So, everything that Dave said, I cannot disagree with. I guarantee if I was 10 years older and I got to see Evil Dead 2 in the theaters in this game, I probably would have had a sour taste in my mouth too. I think I was just lucky in that regard.
Yeah, so totally.
But you do recommend it, Jay, 100%, right?
Oh, without a doubt. It's like, to me, it's the most important Evil Dead movie for allowing the franchise to live on like it has. And to me,
definitely, yeah.
How about you, David?
I totally agree.
Do you recommend it then?
Oh yeah, sure, yeah, totally, yeah. This is yeah. I mean, man, it's the birth of Ash as we know him now. So yeah, and plus, also the main reason why I would recommend this movie is the camera work by Sam Raimi is artistic. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I love the stuff he does. He pushes the envelope of what was being done at the time, and he's always moving forward. And like I said, the only thing I have an issue with is the shaky cam, but shaky cam became a huge thing in the early 2000s. He was doing it, what is this, 91, 92, 94?
Yeah.
He's doing
Blair Witch Project is what really blew up that shaky cam crap.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things.
I hate it.
He uses a lot of Dutch tilts in this movie too. I noticed that. So, but you know what? I'm never going to go against the Sam Raimi film. We've watched more Sam Raimi films on this cast than we have anything else at this point. You know what I mean? So we are all fans of him and all this cult. hopefully we can find a way to sneak in some of his more sincere films, such as A Simple Plan or The Gift. The Gift would be a great one to do.
Oh wow, he did direct The Gift, huh?
Yeah,
Dude, The Gift is
The
awesome.
Gift is awesome.
I just went to see it the same reason everybody else went to see it.
Katie
that?
Holmes' tits.
That's exactly why everyone wanted to
That's
see
right.
it back in 2000.
That's right.
No, but I actually saw that in the theater. That movie, the theater I saw that in was in Tyler, and that theater is now Planet Fitness. Every time I drive by it, the only movie I ever saw there was The Gift.
How funny.
Hopefully I come back. All right, we'll figure it out. All right, guys, let's get to some clips of the movie. Let's play these bad boys. We'll just enjoy them. It's a little different, the cutting off the hand.
Got into my hand and it went bad. So I lopped it off at the wrist.
So this is a new scene, right?
Yes, that is they refilmed that one. But most of the other stuff they didn't refilm. So, but it's just a little bit different than it was in the original version. Why? I wonder why I wrote why. Oh, yeah, why is it called Bruce Campbell versus Army of Darkness? I still don't know why.
Because he produced it and was like, bitch, I put my money in this. I want my name in the title.
Oh, yeah. I remember when the first time I saw this, I turned to my friend and I say, why is it called Bruce Campbell versus Army of Darkness? He goes, nobody knows. He's like, doesn't matter.
A couple other names. The only other one I knew about for this movie, I believe in France, the movie is called Captain Supermarket.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
It's Japan is what it is. Yeah,
that's what it's called, Captain Supermarket.
Yeah,
in
it's
Japan?
called Captain Supermarket.
Okay, we're starting a punk band and we're gonna be called Captain Supermarket.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. How the hell have they not had one?
Dude, I'm so down for that. We'll make it a ska band. Bring it back. Jack shit. What a great line.
Hello, Mr. Fancy
Fancy
Pants.
Pants.
I got news for you, pal. You ain't leading but two things right now. Jack and shit. And Jack left town.
Oh, sick burn, bro.
But hey, what kind of? Well, can we all talk about what kind of a dreamboat Bruce Campbell is in this movie?
Oh, super hot.
100%.
Like legit, he's a stud in this movie.
He's a good.
Like I'm genuinely surprised his career didn't at least get a little more fun after this. You know, I don't know.
It is weird, man. It is weird. Why? Because he should have just blown up.
Yeah, because I mean, like he's not the best actor, but he's definitely he could pass, and he's chiseled, like he's a really good looking dude. Sam Raimi has always said that he's the best headshot in Hollywood.
Yep, agreed. Blood geyser, gotta love it. It's the pause before.
It's massive.
All right, the anime chainsaw. Whenever he's jumping up and he gets it, yeah, baby.
Oh my God, iconic!
Yeah, it's so good. My favorite line in the movie, like I said, boomstick. I just love how the camera shakes here when he says it.
See this? This is my boomstick.
I love that so much. It's mostly just clips of the iconic lines. I'm sorry. That's
perfect.
That's what everyone wanted to see.
Groovy, baby.
Okay. I'll see if you caught it. Okay.
Groovy.
Okay, in the original VHS of this movie, which I got in Christmas of '95, there are a lot of obviously mistakes in the movie, but they're fun mistakes. Like the earliest one is, where did the boomstick come from? Mm-hmm. There's a scene where that scene you were just showing, and he's tightening up, and you actually see this part of his hand.
Funny.
From down, so you know his hand's actually not off. There's little things like that.
Little people, Lilliputians. Love that. Love this. That's so cool looking.
Ramming speed!
You know,
Okay.
Oh my God.
just
Did you see-
watching that. Sorry, go ahead.
That was another mistake. If you want to go back a little bit,
Sure.
can we look back just the last few frames. You can see you can. Well, I want you to just play it, and I'll tell you what to look for.
All right, give me 1 second because it pauses.
Watch the nail.
Yeah, it doesn't even go in his foot.
Yeah, it doesn't. You can still see the nail like on the green screen.
Yeah. Yeah, look at it.
Yeah, it's not even
Right
going
there.
into his foot. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad. I was waiting to see if they cleaned it up, but yeah, they didn't clean it up. So I'm glad they didn't. It's just
Yeah, it definitely doesn't go in. All right, we got the transformation. Here we go. Got the eyeball on the shoulder. Oh, it's so good.
So creepy.
God, it's growing bigger!
I'm sorry, this is fun. I just love it. I like this one too. I'm Bad Ash.
I'm bad, Ash. And you're good, Ash. You're goody little two shoes. You're goody little two shoes, goody little two shoes. Little goody two shoes, little goody two shoes, little goody two shoes, little goody two shoes.
Good. Bad. I'm the guy with the gun.
So dumb.
But fun at the same time.
yeah, dumb and fun, man.
Yep.
Which is basically the entire franchise wrapped up in one exact
Yep.
phrase.
Book number 1. Right there, that's a candle ring.
Yeah, it's so freaky.
It literally becomes a Looney Tunes cartoon. It's ridiculous.
It's almost like The Mask.
Mhm. Book number 2. Oh, come on. It's so ridiculous. Say the words.
Klaatu, Veranda.
So that comes from the original the Day the Earth Stood Still film. It's Klaatu Barata Nikto in that where you have to say that to make Gort stop. So that's where they got those words from. So I don't know why that always stuck with me. I think I heard that on a Cinemassacre video somewhere. Three Stooges with the skeletal things. David, what were you thinking when you saw this in theaters?
I was thinking this is the Three Stooges. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah, I was really mad. I was definitely mad because I was expecting Evil Dead 2, but like, you know, with a bigger budget, and
Yeah.
I got wackiness.
I think you do have to be prepared. Somebody has to tell you, like, if you're going to watch these in order, that they're so radically different. Like, when I showed them to Ethan, I was like, listen, dude, first one, horror movie. Second one, horror comedy. Third one, action comedy. Like, I prepared him mentally, you know what I mean? So when you hand these down...
I would call the third one slapstick. You know what? I think you'd have to give it that kind of slapstick.
It is. And you know, they in the documentaries I've watched, they keep saying Sam Raimi just always wanted to make Three Stooges movies. He just couldn't.
There you
do it.
go.
And then he finally got to make one. So, all right, a little bit of that bone flute, some of that Danny Elfman music. Puppets in the foreground, people in the background. So once again, we got puppets in the foreground. I just love the puppetry, though.
Puppetry is awesome, man. Like I said, I enjoy this battle scene way better than the Game of Thrones dark battle. You could even see what the fuck was going on.
You know what? And you got to think, did George R.R. Martin steal from this? You know what I mean? Like, obviously, he's a fan. Did he take the idea for Game of Thrones and the zombie?
It kind of, it kind of looks like the what do you call it? What are they called? The
White Walkers.
The White Walkers, man. That dude. I never even thought about that, but that's a really good point, Duck.
The what are they called? The Night King.
Yeah, that's totally, dude. He almost has the same outfit.
Yep, that's what I'm saying.
Wow, did we just uncover?
Oh, we're canceling.
So.
We're canceling.
Are we sleuthing?
Graham.
Are we sleuthing, Martin?
Yep.
We got blowing up.
Uh-oh.
Killing them puppets. We got the bone chopper, like you said, Jay, coming in hot.
Welcome to the 21st century.
Say hello to the 21st
Oh, say hello.
Yeah, baby.
Again, you watch this and you're like, he was obviously inspired by Dead Alive a lot.
I mean,
What'd
honestly,
you say?
I said he was obviously inspired by Dead Alive a lot.
Did Dead Alive come out before this?
Yes, I think.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
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 Wait, no.
When did Dead Alive come out? 1990 or?
Yeah, that's fine.
I think so.
But I mean, I always think of these Dead Alive and the Evil Dead. I always got them confused when I was younger. But I feel that that I was going to say earlier, God, I can't even talk. Peter Jackson. I felt like he took.
You're right.
Of his...
I'm sorry, I stand corrected. Peter Jackson was inspired by Sam Raimi.
Yeah, that's what it is. Peter
That's
Jackson,
what I meant to say.
I always felt like he took a lot of his camera techniques and used those.
Totally.
And I think that he would probably even admit to that. 92 is when Brain Dead came out. So.
Yeah, man. According to this, these movies kind of came out almost exactly around the same time, man. So it's kind of a photo finish to really guess who did what first.
Well, Peter Jackson totally stole from Sam Raimi. There's no denying.
Well,
that.
here's what I think. If anything, maybe he did. You know, maybe Sam Raimi saw that Brain Dead or Dead Alive was becoming a little too much like Evil Dead, and he was like, "Well, I'll see you.
Yeah, I'll raise you."
And I'm taking that lawnmower. I'm turning it into a giant car.
Yeah.
But I never really. I always thought those guys could have really, like, had a rivalry for the ages when it came to movies, because like they make these movies, right, and then Peter Jackson makes that trilogy, and then Raimi makes his trilogy. I thought those two could have really duked it out for a while.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, we had the Spider-Man trilogy at the beginning of the 2000s, and we had the Lord of the Rings at the same time.
Same time,
Like,
yeah.
You've got these cult directors, these guys
Yep.
who worked on these films that were so beloved by
Huge
the
studio
fans.
movies.
And
look who they trust.
Yeah.
Yep.
And regardless of where Spider-Man is now, the frickin' original trilogy is its own thing, and it holds up, and it's pure Sam Raimi, and it's a lot of fun to watch. And his camera work, how he puts Tobey Maguire through the same how he put Bruce Campbell through. And the
Spider-Man
original-
2 was one of my all-time favorite. What do you call it?
Spider-Man 2,
Superman.
you said?
Spider-Man 2,
Yeah.
one of my all-time favorite superhero movies,
I think-
and one of the greatest villains of all time, Doc Ock.
Yeah, I
That
don't
was
think
so
anyone
good.
will argue out of the Spider-Man films. That's probably the best one ever released, even out of the new ones.
Oof, it's just the, oh god, it's the most well made.
Mhm.
I always thought that William Dafoe did the best with the Green Goblin that they gave him, but yeah, that Spider-Man 2, that's just a special movie, man.
If it makes you feel better, they're coming back. We're probably getting Green Goblin, Willem Dafoe. We're definitely getting Alfred Molina's Doc Ock and the new Spider-Man movie coming out.
Well, if you remember the scene in Spider-Man 2 when Doc Ock's tentacles come alive,
Yeah.
that is so Evil Dead.
It is 100% Evil Dead.
Straight up
Oh,
Evil Dead.
And that was that I saw that before I ever saw the Evil Dead, and I remember
Oh, wow.
reading "Ain't It Cool" and them talking about the scene and how it paid homage to the original Evil Dead. And I remember being in theaters watching and being like, "Oh my god, this is terrifying! Like this is
Yeah.
a kids movie. What
It's
is
really
going on?"
scary.
But yeah, there's definitely. I think that they fall under the same kind of camera work and like the cult status and just how they made movies and how they grew up and got to make bigger movies. And it's always exciting to see something from either of the directors. You know, anytime something comes out. All right, sorry, Evil Ash. We got on a tangent there. That was
The book is mine. Get him!
I love Evil Ash.
Cool. That's a really cool mask.
Yeah.
When did Ash learn how to sword fight? When he was working at Kmart or S-Mart?
He's the chosen one. Who knows?
Oh, okay. Good point.
Here's a fun little fact. David, how long have you lived in Texas?
I moved here in '96 with my band.
Did you ever go to Planet Hollywood downtown?
I never did. I missed it.
At Planet Hollywood, back in '98, they have this puppet.
Oh wow!
Oh no, they didn't. No way.
They sure saw, which I thought was so cool because Planet Hollywood was started up I think by like Arnold,
Stallone
Yep.
and Arnold,
Stallone
Bruce,
and
Willis.
Yeah.
Bruce Willis, yeah. And then of all the places to see Army of Darkness memorabilia, it was at the West End, and I just thought it was the coolest thing that they had this actual puppet.
Yeah, dude, I love this puppet. Like that's why I clipped so much of it. Like, look at this.
I got a bone to pick with you.
Ridiculous. Love it. Right here, it just becomes a one of those.
It's the mask.
It's out of control.
Retreat.
Final clip. Shop smart.
Lady, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to leave the store.
Who the hell are you?
Name's Ash.
Housewares.
Housewares. But in my own way, I am king. Hail to the king, baby.
Hail to the king, baby. Always gets the girl. Frickin' ridiculous. So yeah, that's Army of Darkness, the finale in our Evil Dead trilogy, if you will. And like I said, I enjoy it. It's probably the least of the three movies, but as a trilogy, the third movie never really works out. I can't think of anything that it's always the second act that stands out. It seems, Empire, Two Towers,
Aliens.
Aliens. Well, I like Alien better.
I'll give you one example where I think the third movie, in my opinion, is the best.
Okay.
Exorcist 3.
Yeah, you keep saying that.
Ooh,
We're gonna have to watch that. We're gonna have to get down with some Exorcist and some Exorcist 3, I think.
And I'll tell you why. I've seen The Exorcist probably about 5 or 10 times. I've probably seen The Exorcist 3 about 30 times.
Yeah, I love
George C. Scott, right?
Kills it.
Yeah.
Because we can agree that the second one is a
Trash.
raging dumpster fire.
It's awful.
But the third one, it just, man, it grips you because it's all about the cop.
Yeah.
I love the fact it's all about the cop. Yeah, that one gets me good.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen my Exorcist diorama?
No, I haven't.
No. Do you have it?
Here, do you want? Yeah, you want to see it real quick?
Yeah, go grab
Yeah.
it, man. If
Here,
you don't
let's.
mind. Anytime you
I'm
want to show
unplugging.
off, say hello.
Mike.
Say hello to my little friends. I just noticed that's what your name was. Yeah. Did you ever hear the theory that Oz the Great and Powerful is a remake of Army of Darkness? Have you ever seen that before? That in a lot of ways he just wanted to recreate that movie and make it.
I love that movie.
But Oz the Great and Powerful.
Oh, I absolutely love that movie. The one with James Franco, right?
Yep.
And Mila Kunis plays the Witch of the West, or what becomes of her. Yeah, I really like that. Dude, if Sam Raimi does something, it's hard for me to hate it.
Oh shit! Look at this.
Now I have this in here because I'm getting ready to ship it, So I put that under, but she floats without this.
Holy shit, that's awesome.
And you got this, you got the medical thing right here, the priest putting holy water on her. Can you see the Ouija board?
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
That was the first thing I noticed. That's
And then
freaking
up here, can you
badass.
see the demon?
Can't see the demon. No, was it Pazazu?
Pazazu.
Crap. How about?
I don't see. All I see is the shining curtain. Oh, that's Jay's stuff reflecting.
Sorry.
Oh, mine is reflecting on the thing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, mine is too. Yeah, so you can see my face. Still can't see the Pazazu. Pazazu?
I'll send you guys a video of it where you can get all the detail.
Cool. Very cool.
And then I have written on her bed, he wanted the guy that bought it from me wanted me to write, "The power of Christ compels you."
Oh, nice.
Do you guys have any recommendations? Anything that kind of goes along the same lines? I couldn't think of any movies that are like this, other than, like I said, Oz the Great and Powerful.
Yeah, I got a couple
Okay.
that we could. There was it. It's just off the top of my head. Jessup, maybe you could help me remember it. It's that movie with Jeff Goldblum. Is it Transylvania?
Transylvania 3000.
That it's kind of that same camp.
Yeah.
That same camp.
Yep.
Of dealing with monsters and whatnot. As far as movies that use a lot of the same
It's
stuff.
Transylvania 5000.
Fix that. Yeah, sorry.
I would definitely say that it's very much in the same vein. If you like castles and a little humor, a little this, a little that.
All right, let's get a little bit of footage of that going. Let me get that pulled up. So what is that movie about?
Man, I haven't seen it so long, but it's Jeff Goldblum. And I think is Gina Davis in it too? Maybe not. Yeah. Oh, it's Ed Begley Jr. and him. It's just, it's Goldblum at his like just creepy best, which is a good segue into the movie we're doing next week.
Yeah,
which is The Fly.
We're definitely checking out The Fly next
I can't
week.
wait to watch The Fly again,
I've
man.
never seen it. I have.
Oh, dude.
Jessup, if you want to do a watch party, I'll watch it with you.
Oh, let's do it.
I have my own copy. I have my own copy on DVD. So
Okay.
That's what
I'm
Jake
in.
is saying. He's got
Wait,
like all the behind the scenes and stuff.
But yeah,
like
if
that.
do you have a copy of the movie too, or
I don't. I'll watch it on Amazon or something.
yeah, I got you.
time it up.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. Yeah, we should do it before next week.
Yep.
Because that movie actually, I couldn't watch it till I was like probably 11.
I saw that movie in the theater, man.
Yeah, it scared me too much. I walked. I remember like it was yesterday. I was like 8 years old, and it was the scene where he's arm wrestling the guy.
Oh,
And he breaks his arm, and that just seemed too real to me.
oh, dude, it's so real.
It's such a real thing that could happen, and I was like, nope. And I wasn't even a horror movie fan at that point in my life. I was like, nope, I'm never seeing that movie.
I think it is one of the greatest endings in cinema history.
Ooh.
And the reason why I say that is it's so devastating and it's so beautifully shot. And it's just the way it fades out. Oh, I don't want to ruin it, Ducky, for you.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Sorry,
never
I
seen
forgot.
it. I know what The Fly looks like, but other than that, I don't know anything about the movie. So
I think we'll get
it's
more
beautiful.
people for that one too.
Yeah.
That's a man. Is that like in your top 5 movies of all time?
Oh, for me?
Jessup? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, easily. Yeah.
cool.
Well, that was that magical year, man, of Aliens and The Fly came out same year.
86,
And
right?
I always felt, I think we talked about this before, I felt Gina Davis and Sigourney Weaver both should have been. Well, wasn't Gina Davis up? I didn't.
Sigourney Weaver was for
That's right.
Aliens.
Yeah. Well, you know what? And I always thought if they would have, if they wouldn't have edited that one scene with Sigourney Weaver and Aliens where she was crying after finding out she had outlived her daughter because she was out in space.
Yeah, and they showed a picture of her with her. They showed a picture of her daughter.
Yeah.
Right. It's her daughter is an old
Yeah.
lady now. Yeah.
Yeah. Her daughter had died while she was out in space, and she was looking at a picture of her, and she got so mad at James Cameron for cutting that because she had researched mothers outliving their daughters and how devastating it is. So yeah, I love the extended. I usually don't like extended versions of movies, but the extended version of Aliens I think works because I think showing the LV-426 with all the kids in it makes it that much more devastating when you see it completely abandoned.
See,
I've actually never seen the extended version of Aliens, so I would
Really?
actually, well, I'd like to see it.
yeah, I don't
Yeah.
remember any of that. That's intriguing to me. I just remember finding Newt, and that's about it. I didn't know there were more.
Yeah,
things
the
there.
extended version of Aliens, it shows the Newt's parents and brother.
Mhm.
It shows them at the LV-426 Hadley's Hope. It shows them there, and the dad gets told, "Hey, go out and there's a beacon somewhere. Go out and find the beacon." And they go, and it shows them going to the derelict ship. Hey, you guys want to see something else real quick?
Sure.
Yeah.
Hit
Let me
us
show
up.
you this. I think I might have, but since we were just talking about it.
Yeah, we'll have to find a way to get aliens in there eventually.
Duck, I do have one more recommendation, and if
Sure.
you can go ahead and look up the clips for it.
Sure.
It's that movie I changed my mind on, Sundown to Vampire in Retreat,
Mhm.
another Bruce Campbell movie. Go ahead and play some. You can rock some clips of that. It actually came out before 2 years before Army of Darkness. But we'll wait till David. David, you back?
Yeah, I'm back here. So
Oh,
this
no.
is
we got the Queen.
the Queen, but then in the background, if you can see, it says there's a sign that says Hadley's Hope.
Oh, nice.
And so
Holy
what I'm going
crap.
to do, what's that?
No, go ahead. I'll tell you after.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a hole underneath it, and coming up, I'm going to put a lamp right here through this egg.
So you can get a little
So-
bioluminescence going
Yep.
on.
Yep.
All right, here we go.
Strong choice.
That'll be badass. All right, Vampire. Sundown, the Vampire Retreat. A little bit of
This is
that. What I was saying, holy crap, about was, remember the last time we looked this up? We watched this version of the trailer, which is very poor quality, right? But check this shit out, dude. Check this shit out.
You got a better quality trailer.
They just
David,
put it up on YouTube, the full movie. So it is the entirety of the movie in HD quality. That is a dick. I can't show that.
It's just another. I was just recommending another Bruce Campbell vehicle. Sundown Vampire
There he is.
Retreat. He. To be honest with you guys, it's very deceiving. He's a very small part. He's a very small part of this movie. I would give him like fifth billing. Like, he's a part of it. He's an important part of it, but he's definitely, like, on the cover, the way they portray him, he is not the main character by any means. But yeah, you talk about ripoffs. True Blood absolutely ripped off this movie in multiple ways.
Yeah, man, we might have to put that on the slate eventually.
It's a fun one.
All right, guys, let's close this down. David, where can they find you on the internet, sir?
You can find me at Stop Motion Nightmares on Facebook, Children of Dave on Instagram, and if you go out to Curiosities in Dallas, you'll see my creepy artwork.
Fuck yeah. And you can find us at wearepodcast.podbean.com. We've got all the podcasts there. There will be a new We Are Era and new We Are Bagu coming out. And hopefully we'll be doing some more live stuff here on Twitch. Jay, we'll talk about that a little bit more. We might want to bring back the gaming news hopefully soon. We got to work that out with you and Ethan. And then We Are Era will be going live. Seeing as Jake has moved, we're going to turn it into a live show that we're going to do probably once or twice a month on Tuesdays. So we can't wait to do that. I got WAP and reviews up all over our social media. You can check those out. Just check the links in the description. Other than that, guys, this has been Army of Darkness. Small crew, but hopefully next week we'll get some more people back for The Fly. Keep horror in your heart. You know, we enjoy watching these movies every week. This is fun. So we appreciate you checking it out and listening. And we will see you next time. With that said, I'm going to kill the feed. Keep horror in your heart. Thank you again, guys.